Before you scroll, before your thumb moves even an inch, promise me one thing: watch this till the end. Because what you're about to hear is not just a performance, it's a moment that shook the world. And if stories of impossible dreams turning real touch your heart, hit like, subscribe, and stay with us, because this one will stay with you long after the final note fades. The theater lights were blinding, the kind that make your hands tremble even when your heart feels ready. A thin Filipino man in his early 20s stood alone at the center of the America's Got Talent stage, dressed in a simple black suit that looked slightly too big for his frame. His hair was carefully slicked back, just like Elvis Presley's, and for a moment, people in the audience exchanged uncertain glances. Another Elvis impersonator, they thought. Another hopeful dreamer chasing a shadow too big to escape. The judges smiled politely, the way you smile when you don't want to crush someone before they've even begun. He introduced himself softly, his accent thick, his voice almost swallowed by the massive hall. He spoke about growing up in a small neighborhood in the Philippines, where the walls were thin, money was thinner, and music was the only thing that made the nights feel less heavy. He said his father used to play old Elvis records on a cracked radio, and for a few minutes every evening, their worries disappeared. That was where his dream was born, not to be famous, but to make people forget their pain, even if only for a moment. Then the music started. 10 seconds. That's all it took. Simon Cowell raised his hand. The music stopped. A sharp, uncomfortable silence spread across the room like cold air. The audience gasped. The singer's eyes widened, his breath caught in his chest. In that instant, every rejection he had ever faced came rushing back, neighbors telling him to be realistic, relatives saying singing wouldn't feed a family, people laughing when he said he wanted to be like Elvis. His shoulders dropped slightly, as if his body already understood what his mind was trying to deny. Simon leaned forward, his expression unreadable. "I'm going to stop you," he said calmly, but firmly. "Because this isn't working." The words hit harder than any buzzer ever could. You could see it on the singer's face, the fight between giving up and holding on. He nodded slowly, whispering a quiet okay, preparing to walk off the stage in front of millions watching around the world. Somewhere in the audience, a woman wiped her eyes. Somewhere backstage, a dream felt like it was dying. But then Simon spoke again. "Tell me something," he said. "Why Elvis?" The singer swallowed, his hands shaking. He took a breath and answered honestly. He talked about singing Elvis songs at family gatherings, about how those songs helped him survive hunger, heartbreak, and the loneliness of being told he wasn't enough. His voice cracked, not because he was acting, but because the truth hurts when you say it out loud. Simon paused, then said something no one expected. "Sing it your way. No music. Just one note." The theater held its breath. The singer closed his eyes. And then he sang. One note. Just one. But in that single note was every sleepless night, every sacrifice his parents made, every moment he almost quit. The sound was deep, rich, and haunting, nothing like an imitation, nothing like a copy. It wasn't Elvis standing on that stage anymore. It was a man who had found his own voice. The reaction was instant. The audience exploded to their feet. Judges stared at each other in disbelief. You could see Simon's eyes widen, the rare look of shock he never hides when he knows he's witnessing something real. The singer opened his eyes, startled by the thunder of applause, tears streaming down his face as he realized this wasn't rejection, this was recognition. "Okay," Simon said, standing now. "That is why we stopped you. Because I needed to hear that." The music started again, and this time, when the singer sang, he didn't try to be Elvis. He honored him, but he was himself. Every lyric carried weight. Every note felt earned. By the time he finished, there wasn't a single person sitting. Even the skeptics were cheering, clapping until their hands hurt. Backstage, the singer collapsed into tears. Not because he had won anything yet, but because for the first time, the world listened. That single note changed everything. Clips of the performance spread like wildfire. People who had never cared about talent shows shared it. Musicians reacted in awe. Fans from the Philippines flooded social media with pride, saying, "That's our story too." The man who almost walked off stage after 10 seconds became a symbol of perseverance, the proof that sometimes, the world just needs a moment to hear you properly. And the message was clear. Sometimes rejection is not the end. Sometimes it's a redirection. Sometimes you're stopped not because you're bad, but because something better is waiting on the other side of fear. If you're watching this and doubting yourself, if you've been stopped after your first 10 seconds in life, remember this story. One note can change everything if it comes from your truth. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more real, inspiring moments like this to the world. And remember, your voice matters. Don't let anyone stop you before they truly hear it.